Hello, I'm Colleen Holder and this is Let's Talk Tobago. Today we're at Villa Petrus, located on the Old Prospect Coconut Estate. This plantation-style villa features a 72-foot-long saltwater swimming pool, 2 study areas and a walk-in wine cellar. We'll take you around this enchanting, secluded villa right after we tell you what's happening in our stories this week. Big changes at the helm of the Tobago House of Assembly. Epileptic children receive a helping hand from overseas. And the youth at Mount Pleasant benefit from another community-based initiative. This is Let's Talk Tobago. Welcome back. We're at Villa Petrus in Prospect. Set on 2 acres of land surrounded by lush agriculture, the abundant fruit trees and flowers enhance the romantic evening ambience when the garden lights are on. Tobago is an island which is constantly changing and looking at ways to grow and become more efficient. And with changes in the cultural, social and economic environments also comes a difference in the political forces. This time, it's the changes to some of the faces of the divisions within the Tobago House of Assembly. Omar Mills tells us who they are, their new portfolios and why this is happening at this time.
With just over a year after the THA elections and the inauguration of a new administration, there are some changes to the THA's administrative body. At the recent media briefing session, Chief Secretary Orville London announced the changes.
Mr. Huey Cadet, the former Secretary, still Secretary of Settlement and Labour, will move and be shifted or transferred to the Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport. And Councillor Gary Melville will move to the Division of Infrastructure and Public Utilities.
The reshuffle will take effect on Thursday, 13th February, when President Anthony Carmona comes to install one new secretary, that is Dion Isaac. Currently the Assistant Secretary in the Office of the Chief Secretary, Mr. Isaac will be the Secretary for the Division of Settlements and Labour. Mr. Isaac is also the Deputy Presiding Officer, and due to the reshuffle, there will be a change in that position as well.
That particular appointment will be made when at the next sitting of the Tobago House of Assembly, and I think you know of the process. There has to be a nomination or nominations, and if necessary, an election.
The changes are necessary because of the health of the Secretary for the Division of Infrastructure and Public Utilities, Hilton Sandy, who suffered a stroke last year and has not been able to carry out his duties as Secretary or Area Representative since then.
Under the Tobago House of Assembly Act, I only can operate with a total of 8 secretaries in addition to the Chief Secretary. So that obviously we have to make the adjustments so as to ensure that the Assembly can continue to function at optimum level.
It has been disclosed that Mr. Sandy will be sent to the Baptist Medical Center Rehabilitation Unit in South Florida for rehabilitation assessment and management of his recovery. I'm Omar Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Bago Carnival 2014 is here with a whole new set of plans. A new look carnival project aimed at improving the quality of the events of the season. Now, all the major happenings leading up to Carnival that would have taken place at various locations will now take place in one centralized space. Davia Chambers tells us all about it.
This is how Dwight York Stadium usually looks. But for this Carnival season, it will take on a new face. It's the home of all things Carnival in Tobago. From panchams to Parade of the Bands to traditional canboulay, it all takes place right here.
There are plans in place. Not interior decor, but exterior decor. It's going to be big stage, it's going to be big screen. The seating accommodation is going to be there to accommodate the people. We're going to set up a food court. We are looking at a food court. We are looking at other facilities to make it a place where people would want to go for the carnival.
This is being done all in an effort to rebrand Tobago's carnival. And as the team rebrands, They saw the need to offer more to attract their target market.
And as we partner and collaborate with the people in the communities and our stakeholders and the people with whom we procure services from, we are able to do just that. And not to mention, we want to have an opportunity to involve the people who are into culinary things, those people who make those good delicacies, so that you may come to Tobago, but why? It may not even be for mass, but you'll get some good traditional Creole food.
The space will provide a total experience for the season to carnival babies, from extravaganzas during the day for children to the calypso tents at night for adults. However, more than that, one of the advantages is the economic activity for local entrepreneurs.
As we seek to spread carnival, we empower Tobago, and that person who has local produces and fruit juices and who the dirt oven person, so that even the person who is involved in accents and making other stuff, it becomes an economic tool, a driver to sustain ourselves.
Carnival City is an initiative of the Division of Community Development and Culture and costs $1 million. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
We often call them fits, and many of us don't know what to do when faced with a person having an epileptic seizure, especially children. Epilepsy is a neurological condition which affects the nervous system. It's usually diagnosed after a person has had at least 2 seizures which were not caused by a medical condition like alcohol withdrawal, extremely low blood sugar, or even heart problems. Sometimes epilepsy can be diagnosed after an episode if a person has a condition that places them at high risk for having another. But here in Tobago, our physicians need help to make the diagnosis and treat it, since there is no pediatric neurologist in Trinidad and Tobago. Assistance was sought from a team in the United States, and here's more on the visit and how children with epilepsy are living a better quality of life.
Seizures come could be every 15 minutes, could be every half an hour, or sometimes you catch it like once a day, according to how the brain actually works and stuff like that.
That's the reality that Suran has to face for a lifetime. But with help, the seizures 8-year-old Jamal has can be reduced. So with the electroencephalogram tests, which checks the brain, Jamal's family now knows the real cause of his seizures, cerebral palsy. Children like Jamal, living with a disability, now have the option of being managed and treated right here on island. About 30 children are pre-selected for the clinic, and as Dr. Wheeler tells us, the benefits of meeting with the team are life-changing.
I know there's one person who has had fainting episodes. We're not sure if it's seizures, and the EEG will help that. We have children who are weak, who are not developing as they should. We have children with cerebral palsy and different types of neurological conditions. So they will help us in terms of assessing them, seeing what further testing we may have available to us. And those children having seizures where the medication is not working as well as we would want them to, he can advise us, on maybe changing or, helping to manage them in a better way.
So how is this really happening?
The first thing you do is there are many medications out now that could potentially decrease or stop seizures. You try the first few medicines, but it's not medicine alone. If you try medicines alone, you can treat about 70% of seizures. If medicines don't work, there's a diet that's been around since the Babylonian times that sometimes still helps, called the ketogenic diet. You can implement that diet and it can significantly reduce some seizures, but it's a somewhat difficult diet, so it doesn't work in everyone. Yeah? If that doesn't work, they have surgeries that could potentially work.
But sharing knowledge to create awareness of the disabilities is also critical. And so, a public lecture was held.
Every time we have an opportunity to impart knowledge, we have an opportunity to make adjustments in our attitudes and in our outlook towards persons who may have challenges that we don't have.
It's something that the parents are grateful for.
For them to come here actually is a little more, actually excitement for them, and even more little knowledge for us, because actually with Well, it could be, more for, for parents to gain more with these children because actually it's patience.
The team will travel to Tobago 3 more times for the year for follow-up services. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
We're taking a break, but when we return, we'll tell you about the Division of Health's program to assist with the everyday challenges of parenting. You're viewing Let's Talk Tobago. Welcome back to Villa Petrus, an ideal facility for birthday parties, corporate events, or even weddings. The wraparound veranda is great for outdoor dining or just relaxing in the hammock or on this swing seat. And while I'm taking it easy here, you can relax knowing that there's a joint venture with CAVI International, an intergovernmental, not-for-profit organization that was set up by the United Nations Treaty. The purpose was to help improve people's lives worldwide by providing information and applying scientific expertise to solve problems in agriculture and the environment. Those agriculture problems are being solved, though, right here in Tobago through a plant clinic. People can now know what's wrong with their plants and receive the necessary recommendations for management if it can't be cured, as well as treatment where the pest and disease problem can be alleviated. This is the answer to many farmers' problems.
Want your plants to look like this? Well, you have to be in the right place at the right time. For disease-ridden plants, you can find out the diagnosis when the Division of Agriculture, Marine Affairs, Marketing and the Environment's plant clinic rolls into your community.
This clinic that we have launched now is a clinic that caters specifically to plant health issues only, and it is at a fixed venue, like I said before, and for a specific time. So what it does, it gives you a plant version of the human health system.
So if your plant isn't looking as healthy as this one, Ms. Boucher explains what you can do in February.
Our first clinic will be on the 4th of February at the Goodwood Community Center. Okay, the following week on the 11th, the next clinic will be at the Bugu Community Center. That's the 11th of February, sorry. And on the 3rd Tuesday of this month, of February coming up, we will have the clinic on the 18th.
And to ensure that the process isn't delayed, she has this advice for plant owners.
If you want to bring a sample to the clinic, what you should do, get early in the morning, you take the sample, whether it is a leaf that's curled or cracked or has pimples or bumps, for layman's explanations. You cut that early in the morning, you put it in a clear plastic bag or any plastic bag that you have, and you can keep it in your refrigerator if you're not going to be at the clinic very early, because remember we're there from 9 to 12. Okay? You put it in somewhere it's cool, and then you bring it to the clinic. If you put it in, let's say, you just cut it and you leave it out in the open, by the time we get it, it will be wilted, and we may not be able to recognize any symptoms on it because it's so far gone.
The clinic was launched in November 2012 to serve the 8 farming districts in Tobago. The initiative is free to farmers. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
Whether you and your family indulge in a bit of home gardening, or you may be a novice farmer or possibly one in the business for decades, no matter how long you've been doing agriculture, at some point you may have noticed that your plants aren't looking as healthy as they should. Well, in Tobago, there's help for farmers in this area in the form of plant clinics, where farmers take samples of their sick plants for diagnosis and treatment solutions. In the following story, Omadar Mills gives us an insight into one farmer's plant clinic experience.
Hugh Beckers is a farmer for about 30 years, and he's been growing mangoes, coconut and citrus in the Roxborough Agricultural District. Mr. Beckers is the first farmer to come into the first plant clinic session for the year, which was held at the Goodwood Community Center, to get some help from these plant doctors for his citrus crops.
I observe the leaf and getting yellow, they're falling off, some of the orange falling off, and getting a dry back on the trees.
After a series of questions about the age of the plants, Other signs the farmer would have observed, as well as an examination of the sample which Mr. Beckles brought, the plant doctors who are trained technical officers working in the Division of Agriculture, Marine Affairs, Marketing and the Environment gave a diagnosis and a treatment solutions.
I need to fertilize twice a year, and that should help. Because there seems to be nothing wrong with the plant, just aging. So they need some help.
Besides making suggestions about the best treatment options, the plant doctors also scheduled a field visit to the farmer's orchard. Mr. Beckles, who's appreciative of the assistance, says that he welcomes this kind of help being given to the island's farmers and home gardeners.
It's a good idea because I was glad when I heard it announced that they have in this session, so it's okay. Because it's important. Yeah, because you have been sickness with the plant and then you know what to do. So it's best to come and get the expert to tell you what to do.
The plant clinic initiative was started in late 2013 and will continue into this year, with sessions at Boku and Mariah scheduled to take place on the 2nd and 3rd Tuesdays of this month respectively. I'm Umadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
According to statistics compiled by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, there were over 512 reported cases of rape, incest and sexual offences for 2011. By March of 2013, it was reported that there were already over 200 reported cases of incest, rape and sexual abuse. As these numbers increase, more and more groups are being formed to protest against sexual abuse of children. Tobago is doing its part as well to make certain that our young people are made aware of the issue and what the law actually says concerning it.
It's not that sexual offences aren't being reported because they are not occurring. They aren't being reported because young people do not feel or do not know that there is law to protect them, that there is someone on their side, which is the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and the legal system in the country.
Names like Kiana Cumberbatch, Amy Anamanthudu, are excruciatingly painful reminders of young lives cut short due to alleged sexual abuse. But our island is attempting to have sexual abuse become a thing of the past. Why? Simply because the police service, along with Citizen Security Program and the Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport, see the need for our young people to guard themselves with information as to how the law protects them. And what better way to do this than through a quiz competition, something that is fun, yet educational.
It's good, clean competition we're looking for. It's all about improving our society. We all know that sex is a major topic that nobody speaks about. So the competition would probably bring an easier way to deal with it.
9 secondary schools will be competing and a combination team from various police youth clubs on the island. The hope is that the participants will not keep the helpful information as a secret.
It's information that you're going to share with your classmates, right? With the rest of your school, with your friends in your village, right? With your friends online when you're on Facebook, right? Because it's important that you know, and it's important that other people know.
The quiz starts on February 17th and ends on the 26th. The winning team takes home $6,000 and a challenge trophy. Second, $3,500, and third, $1,500. Each competing team gets $500. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
We're taking another break, but stay with us because coming up, local and regional artists put Tobagonians in gear for Carnival 2014. Thanks for staying with us. You're viewing Let's Talk Tobago. We're in Prospect at Villa Petrus. Now, this is an original Louise Kimmey sculpture, and it's modeled after a Tobagonian by the name of Kathy Ann Clark. Now, with 7 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms, this villa can comfortably sleep up to 17 people, whether it's in the villa or in the annexed self-contained cottage. But don't hide away too long, as we're in the carnival season, and the next event you're going to hear about is one which has evolved over the years. Initially, it was a partnership between Crosby's Recording Studio and Radio Tambourine to provide an opportunity for performers to launch their CDs. Now, as the world became more digitized, the event changed into one where artists from both Tobago and Trinidad came to showcase their annual carnival offerings. This event is also known as a launch pad for most artists for the season. Davia Chambers has some highlights of this year's event.
It signals the beginning of the 2014 Carnival season with All Things Carnival, a showcase for singers, but also steel pan bands, carnival bands, rhythm sections, and even dance groups.
Wake up in the morning, turn on my radio.
It was the 15th edition of Soca Under the Salmon Tree, a location that's normally calm, transformed into an energetic, exhilarating scene filled with sweet calypso and rhythmic soca melodies by both upcoming and seasoned artists.
She said, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Don't stop, don't stop. Kwana was Prime Minister and Ian Allen was Police Commissioner. A dreamation Steve, how they get away. And they put up a sign, victory all the way. I dream all this pain, all this misery. And young bandits rewriting bandit history. Man, I hold my head and I start to bawl. Cause I don't want to have these visions at all. Hey girl, I want to be the man in your house, sing it. I want to take you out, just like a normal man. Tonight I'm not hiding, high out in the... You want some girl, eh?
But Under the Tree this year also saw a regional artist, the roly-poly man himself, Mr. Killer.
Yes, I want that roly-poly, I want that big girl. You make me ball, do me
Soca Under the Salmon Tree was partly sponsored by the Division of Community Development and Culture, as well as the Division of Tourism and Transportation. I'm Davia Chambers for Let's Talk Tobago.
Whether you're an employer, employee, construction worker, or doctor, health and safety is everyone's business. Global organizations are gearing up to celebrate World Health and Safety Day in a few months, and Tobago is no exception. Tobago's stakeholders have already begun to plan what they'll be doing to commemorate not just the day or week, but a month of various health and safety activities. Omadar Mills has the story on what you can expect.
Do you remember hearing about the health and the safety quiz last year, which was won by the TSTT team, or the Safety and Health exhibition held at the Scarborough Esplanade? Well, these are some of the events which the public can look forward to this year when Tobago celebrates a month of health and safety activities under the theme, The Use of Chemicals in the Workplace, in the month of April. However, a new event has been added to the calendar.
We were advised by our secretary that one of the key things that he would like to focus on is a contractor forum to promote safety and health on the construction sites. I mean, of course, that would be not only our contractors, but it would be open to all contractors in Tobago.
Among the other events to take place throughout the month and ending in a week of intense celebrations are the schools program and the health and safety competition to be held among the OSH units in the THA. The Manpower and Labour Relations Manager explains why Tobago celebrates health and safety for more than one day.
It's not really that we have identified a week. It is because of the number of things that we usually want to do and try to execute during that period. What we do is really centralize everything to culminate within the final week, that week running from the 28th to approximately the 2nd of May.
And all activities are designed to ensure that persons understand their role in maintaining a wholesome and a secure work environment.
Your health is both your responsibility as well as the responsibility of your employer while you are in the workplace. So yes, the employer have a responsibility, but you also have that responsibility to ensure that you make yourself aware.
The Department of Labour is again teaming up with the Occupational Health and Safety Authority as well as the USH Department of the THA to coordinate the month of activities. The International Labour Organization celebrates the World Day for Safety and Health on the 28th of April. I'm Omodara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Communities in Tobago are quickly becoming self-sufficient, and those in the community of Mount Pleasant, especially the youths, are getting it all. There's a new pavilion and lit playing field for those interested in sports, while others have spaces for practicing cultural activities at their community centre or the Pan Theatre. So what's next for the residents in that community? Here's the story on a recently opened space specially designed with the youths in mind.
Nestled among the community's pavilion, lit basketball and tennis courts and Pan Theatre is this 720 square feet youth-friendly space. It is the fifth Y zone to be opened on the island to help develop the academic capabilities of the youths in the Canby Mount Pleasant area. The Youth Centre is equipped with 8 computers and high-speed internet access so that young persons can access ICT training, computer-based literacy, and even get help with their homework.
What we would want to have volunteers and, if necessary, paid people who could actually help where special needs are concerned, to actually help them do their homework and keep on top of their homework, and keep ahead of the game.
Young persons will be able to enhance their reading skills through the IBG Phonics program and learn a language with the Rosetta Stone Spanish program. And for those who need someone to talk to, there's that help as well.
Something we have been looking at is especially where we have peer counseling. So if you can have young people come from the bad side and actually take part in this program and develop themselves, they can then come and give back the knowledge back to the young and upcoming children of the community. So in terms of development, we'll have interpersonal and intrapersonal development of the individual.
But that's not all. There are plans to have an adolescent mothers and fathers program as well as an adult literacy program. In addition to this youth zone, the Division of Community Development and Culture has established others in Calder Hall, Speyside, Argyle and Lance for Me, with more to come in other communities. I'm Omodara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
And it's time to have your say, the segment of our program where we hear from you, our viewers. These days, a lot of emphasis is being placed on healthy lifestyles and better living. We see many adults watching what they eat and getting involved in activities to reduce the risk of diseases associated with obesity, such as high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes. However, while the adults are living healthy, there are many children who are not. Yes, they are physically active, but their eating habits leave a lot to be desired. So today we're asking, what do you think parents can do to encourage children to live a healthy lifestyle? This is what you said.
From an early age, they can instill in their children that it is important to eat healthy and exercise.
On mornings, you'll let them go and exercise their body so they'll get vitamins in their body and eat the right food. Let them know the right thing so that when they grow on whatever you give them.
From the time they're small, stick with it and keep firm and they will continue it. That is how as far as my training goes, that is what it says. If you do it from the time they're small, because what they know is what they will do constantly.
I find children nowadays, they're not planting no garden, they're not on no garden thing. They're just eating anything, and I find it a real fat people in Trinidad and Tobago, overweight people, and we need some more provision, we need some more greens, vegetable, fish. They set up pork and KFC and thing, it really had it, place obese.
Parents should grab the children a little more independent, where they could sit at home or they could a little spare time and cook something healthier and head out to the fast food place and eating a sort of non-healthy food.
I have 5 children and I just try my best to give them healthy things to eat.
And that's how we bring this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago to a close. Do remember you can send us your comments to information@tha.gov.tt or visit us at www.tha.gov.tt. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Colleen Holder, and on behalf of all of us at the Department of Information, have a safe and enjoyable week. And as we go, we leave you now with some final scenes from Villa Petrus.